Because fitness is such a vast and broad spectrum that incorporates many different aspects and factors, it can be a little difficult for an up and coming beginner new to the game to try to start. Various questions, such as what even is considered fitness, how does one start, and what to do, may arise as well. In this video, we're going to try to attempt to answer these questions as well as provide some personal insight on the subject at hand. So, to answer the question that most people would have, I believe that fitness, more personally to me, is something that's more so a matter of working yourself on your physical aspects while maintaining health and longevity. Oxford defines fitness as the condition of being physically fit and healthy, which I guess more or less just exactly what I said. Now, what does this look like? To the average person, one may think being fit is to have big muscles or to lift heavy weights. While this is partially true, it doesn't cover the full picture. Like I said in the beginning, fitness is a spectrum, meaning there's no one set cookie cutter way of being fit, and it fluctuates from person to person. To put it in a way, fitness is less about how you look and more about what you do. How you look is only a byproduct of what you do. It's like that one Wii Sports person says. I don't remember they were, but they said something like, "Fitness is not just a hobby; it's a lifestyle." I don't know if that's exactly what they said, but you guys get the idea. Pretty much as long as you as an individual are doing activities that require some type of physical effort and physical labor, such as walking, running, lifting, etc., and you do it on a consistent basis, then by definition, you are fit. Activities that involve cardio are typically ones that prioritize heart health, so it can deliver oxygen and blood to the rest of your body after intense breathing, and so you can continue for longer endurance. Activities involving lifting or maneuvering weighted things that targets various muscle groups in your body wears them down and breaks down little fiber tears in your muscles so that once they recover, your muscles will get stronger. As a result of doing these various activities with a certain level of intensity and consistency, your body changes both externally and internally. Externally, you may start to see that you are losing weight and or you're gaining muscle if you're performing cardio or weightlifting exercises. Internally, your organs work into overdrive with other parts of your body to adapt and reach peak condition. So your body doesn't essentially fail out on you at the slightest disturbance that it detects. So yeah, being fit requires you to go out and be active and work your body in some way, shape, or form. And fitness itself can be more or less considered as a tool used to improve yourself. Now, if we're going to talk about looks, if that subject is going to come up, I want to emphasize that someone like Ronnie Coleman versus someone like Simone Biles, okay, both are very fit for very different reasons, in which we'll cover the next question for on how does one get into fitness. Going back to my two examples, Ronnie and Simone are what we call masters at their craft and are the peak of their field. Even though they look very different, both can be considered fit for different reasons. How is that so? For anyone who gets into fitness or is exposed to it, it's usually more often than not from an influence, whether personal or external. These influences give people a goal, and that's the main thing I want to highlight. Having a goal in your fitness journey isn't necessarily required, but it's definitely important to have if you want to make any real significant changes to your body and lifestyle. This is how one transitions into just being fit, into being athletic. And no, being athletic does not mean you are an athlete. Okay, there's a difference. There are numerous goals in the world of fitness, and each one of them requires you to train and exercise differently in order to reach that goal. They range from body composition, which is training to either build muscle or lose fat. Performance, which is training to improve a general but usually measurable output like being stronger, faster, flexible, etc. Skill practice, in which you train in a specific activity that's usually catered to a sport or competition. Now realize that all these goals are not mutually exclusive, and some of them do take aspects from each other and require you to blend and combine them to fully maximize your original goal. For example, if your main goal is to get better at basketball, that is a skill that requires practice and repetition of, say, back to back shooting and dribbling drills, a specific output catered to that sport. But it could also improve your performance if you train to, say, run faster or to jump higher, which is not exclusive to basketball, but is much needed in basketball. You see how that makes sense? I want to heavily emphasize also that no matter what your goal is, all your goals should be equally balanced. When I say that, I don't mean to put too much focus in one goal and one aspect of your training so much that you neglect other areas. As a result, you lose out on other gains your body could make, or worse, even hinder and prevent it from reaching its full potential. There have been so many cases to where I've seen powerlifters and bodybuilders and whatnot who are generally just big and strong, and that's great and all, you know. They're clearly fit in that aspect of their field, but more often than not, they neglect their cardio aspect of their health, and they can barely walk 10 steps without going out of breath or whatnot. Or you have so those who are great in a certain type of sport and are the best at it, right? But in general translations to how they would say lift something heavy, that sport may not prioritize that, so they may not have good strength in that. So yes, going again, it's important to make sure that all your goals are balanced. You have to shift goals at different points in time to get the best results from all worlds. And at the end of the day, every exercise and every training goal will end up making you more healthy, fit, and generally just improve overall markers of well-being. To answer the final question on what to do to get started, well, ultimately, that's a question that you have to answer for yourself. For all the new beginners watching, that may or may not be watching, I've given you the blueprint and the foundation for what it is and how to start. So the next step is choosing what aspect of fitness sticks out to you in particular. If you like sports, for example, then join one, whatever your favorite might be. And if you don't have a favorite, pick one that looks fun and entertaining to you. I want to highlight that fun and entertaining, because at the end of the day, if something isn't fun to you, you're not going to want to do it. You don't want the thing that you need to do feel like a chore. So if you like the idea of getting bigger and stronger, join the gym. If you're afraid of starting out of fear or judgment or intimidation, since that is very common for those who don't want to join, have a friend or family member join with you. You find out quickly that most gyms are some of the nicest places you'll ever be in, with the nicest people you'll ever meet. Most of the people there just do their own thing anyways, but they could be more than willing to help out if needed. Because remember, everybody starts somewhere. The important thing is just starting. You'll also find out that working out together, if you do bring someone along, increases motivation to want to get better as you help each other grow. Because as the saying goes, iron sharpens iron. Just remember one final important thing, and that is to take your time. Start off slow. Go step by step, and don't rush the process, please. The destination will happen at some point. Once the satisfaction of getting there is envisioned and established, you'll find out that it's almost always during the journey itself that gives the whole thing value and all the more worthwhile. Now, with all that being said, go out and get some exercise. Get some exercise in, train, no matter what it is that you do. Know that train smart, train hard, and train consistent. I promise you'll be physically the best that you can ever be.